finally, we have the trailer for The Crow 2024. Very recently, Vanity Fair dropped some pictures of The Crow and it looked like some Florida Joker, Post Malone, Little Peep looking stuff. It was rough. People didn't like it. I didn't like it. Nobody really liked it. Nobody was like, "Oh well, yeah, so excited for that." And the whole thing was not looking good. And then the trailer dropped today, and I've got some thoughts on the trailer. I'm sure you've seen the trailer. We probably have all seen the trailer at this point. Your mom has seen the trailer. If not, send her the trailer and ask her thoughts on the matter. Folks, the trailer dropped, and I will say, I've got a lot of thoughts. And based on those initial pictures, this looks a lot better than those pictures, I'll tell you that. However, I'm going to tell you some stuff here in a second. I'll try to remember to warn you, but there's some stuff about the screen stuff that is a bit of a spoiler unless it gets changed. So, yeah. So basically, I thought the action was decent. I will start with the positives. I thought the action was decent. The makeup, I mean, it didn't wow me, but I mean, it very much distracted me from the shitty tattoos. There's a lot of shitty tattoos on this man, and the overall whatever they were going for, that whole thing, I guess it did distract me quite a bit from that. And the makeup, the violence of it all, that whole thing, I was like, okay, all right, it's kind of John Wick type of action. I mean, lots of that looking like it was going on. However, I am worried. I am very worried. This may be a slight spoiler. I don't know for sure that a lot of this is going to take place basically in the third act for the most part. That does look like it to me. And the reason I'm saying this, and this may be a bit of a spoiler, but yeah. There is apparently, the screenings, apparently the makeup doesn't really come into play till the third act. Like, people were basically walking out of the movie because it was, not very good or very boring. I mean, that type of thing. And this is a screener. And typically, I mean, you hear a lot of crazy stuff about screeners. Typically, you're not hearing people are walking out, but I mean, whatever. I will say the trailer choice, the music choice, Ozzy Osbourne. I was happy to hear some Ozzy Osbourne in the trailer. However, let's start with some negatives. The overall feel did not quite feel like that goth Brandon Lee Crow, right? And I mean, yes, I'm gonna say it. This could have probably been a whole other Crow like they've done before in City of Angels and other variations, and it probably would have been okay. I would have been very much more okay with that. However, this is meant to be the Eric Crow, the Brandon Lee Crow. I believe that's also the main Crow from the comic books, original comic books. So, I mean, I believe that, not that it's a straight reboot, but it's basically a retelling of that character sort of thing. Don't love that. I want to be honest, I don't love that. That's a bit of an issue, and that's where I'm having a lot of my issues from as a fan. However, from a straight up movie, it could be decent. Okay, it could be decent. This does look like a very good, I don't know about going to the movies and seeing it, but this does look like a very good sit down and watch on Netflix type movie. I'm not gonna lie, it does not look that bad compared to the pictures at all. There's a lot of things. A lot of things with the vibe and things like that. I think because it's a Crow movie, you have a certain expectation going into it. This inspired a lot of stuff in pop culture. Sting became probably his most iconic look. He became that look until he retired. Yeah, he retired the same year this movie's coming out. That's kind of crazy. And today the trailer drops actually the 2-year anniversary of the passing of Scott Hall, the man who supposedly pitched the idea for Sting to look like the Crow, right? So I mean, this changed a lot of things just in pop culture, not just that, but I mean just a lot of pop culture stuff. It definitely changed. It had a huge impact. The Brandon Lee stuff, of course, the passing of Brandon Lee. You know, the whole thing. I mean, in the movie being good, I really enjoyed the movie a lot as a kid. I mean, this I don't know if it holds up. You know, I don't know for sure. I feel like, from what I remember, I feel like it probably would. If you go into it expecting, you know, it to be what it is, a goth movie, and the death in the original one, I mean, really stuck with you. In the trailer, I don't know what they're going to do and how much. I mean, I feel like you've seen the whole movie, but I've seen the trailer. That's a lot of trailers nowadays. So I don't know exactly how long we're going to spend, you know, in, you know, the relationship before she passes away. Just because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it could be, if it's rushed, I feel like you're not really feeling bad and sorry for this and feeling the intense whatever. Looks like they meet in like a mental institution type of thing or something, right? I mean, that's kind of what it looked like, right? I mean, to me anyway. I mean, because they have like matching like jumpsuit looking things. I don't know. Did I catch that? Yeah. I don't know. It does look very violent though. But I mean, the love story is a big part of it. That's the whole motivation for the crow. Lots of blood and, you know, really playing up they can't be killed aspects of it. I believe at one point he's throwing two severed heads into like a crowd, it looked like. That's pretty sure what's going on, like some bags. So yeah. The cast and the bad guy, I forget the dude's name, but I think, you know, he's definitely a bad guy. Definitely gives those vibes. It could work, flip a coin. Do I think it will do well financially? Probably not. I think it's going to have to be good, very good, to get some good word of mouth, and then we'll see. I think that's going to have to be what happens here. I just don't know if that's going to be possible, though. Yeah. So that's the thing. I don't know. I feel like the look, the design, really is going to hold people back a lot from enjoying this movie. I think if we would have seen this, seen him look more like the Crow that we all know and love, you know, from most, you know, from the movies, most of the movies really captured the look, or tried to at least. I think if we'd have seen, you know, the white face paint with the black, you know, and that be like his look throughout the movie. Yeah, I mean, this could catch some hype. This could catch some hype and do very decent. I feel like as people are starving for good like content like this, really good like superhero content. I think we've had a lack of darker superhero content for a while now. That's been good. The last one I can think of that was what I would consider to be, you know, darker, I guess, was the Batman, right? I'm trying to think since then if we really had anything. I don't know, Peacemaker on HBO, I guess I enjoyed Peacemaker quite a bit. So yeah. Was it like amazing? No, but it's way better than I thought it was going to be. Thought it was pretty good. I mean, the movie wasn't like awful exactly, but I enjoyed the Peacemaker show better than the movie, I'll be honest. I mean, that was pretty decent. I consider it to be a little bit darker. But yeah, the Crow's got to go goth and dark. Sadly, they went SoundCloud rapper and mullets and stuff, and honestly, they're a little late on that whole trend. Because this isn't like a brand new breaking trend. I feel like, hell, by the time this comes out, I mean, SoundCloud stuff, that's pretty, you know, the face tattoos and stuff, that's pretty much a meme at this point, a joke. The mullets can only last so long. I mean, they've been around for a few years now. We've been seeing them, and they're definitely going to fade. So the whole trend, it's going to really date the movie in not a great way. I feel like the other movie was dated as well, but kind of in a good way. Right, you kind of felt that. That was kind of the point. That's what it felt like, right? Because the comic book was like that in a lot of ways. The design and the look, you know, it felt like that. You know, when it came out, it felt like that you know, that 80s, 90s grungy type of goth style going on. This, however, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna capture. I think it's gonna capture the people, the youth, if you will. And yeah, I mean, this is an older man saying this. Sure, give me that. I'm almost 40. What do I know? I mean, I was there during the original, though, but I was also a kid. And this one I'm much older for. I believe I've watched all of them. I don't know if I've watched all the show though, the live action show. Yeah. So people are saying this looks like CW-ish with good action. I think it looks better than CW. I mean, I could see this on Netflix or HBO Max, even Apple, like something like that. Apple, I don't know, Apple's a little high. I don't know, maybe. I could see it on something like that. But yeah, I think it's going to do way better on streaming than theaters. That's just a bold prediction here. I think if it's decent, if it's a decent movie, I think it'll catch some word of mouth. I think some people will be interested enough to at least watch it on streaming. Depending on where it ends up, I'm not really sure where it's going to end up on streaming, but wherever it ends up, that's probably when I'll check it out. Unless, somebody just really wants to go see it at the theater, then I'll be like, sure, I'm down. I don't imagine my wife is going to be like clamoring to see this movie. I mean, she never talked about The Crow, so she doesn't seem like she'd be a big fan of The Crow. I feel like this is more of a guy's movie for the most part, which is another thing they've kind of, whatever. Bill Skarsgård. I really enjoy him. I enjoy him as an actor. Really enjoy him quite a bit. However, I will say, I don't know how old he is off the top of my head, but I feel like the face tattoos and that whole thing, I think they want to play him as like somebody like, 20, 21, 22, and he's not. He did get jacked for this, so I will say he's in great shape for this. So I feel like he's a positive despite the age. I can suspend some disbelief and be like, okay, whatever, this could work. I can see him being this character. They've got to watch it, with like some of the dialogue. I feel like if there's cheesy dialogue, I mean, because he talks sometimes and like whatever, but surprised and pleasantly surprised. He's talking normal. He's acting, like how I would basically want him to act. I feel like, from an acting point of view. So I feel like that part could be a positive. I feel like it's a very mixed bag. But sadly, the tone is a huge negative that is going to weigh this movie down. I feel like the pictures coming out where we're seeing the tattoos, man, that really put people in like a F this movie mindset. And it's going to carry a lot of negativity until the movie actually comes out. Sadly, the trailer it's not going to light the world on fire in the way that they want it to. I don't think it's hurting it exactly, but I don't think it's going to people are not going to rush out based on this trailer. In my opinion, I liked it more than most people, but I'm seeing a lot of negativity and a lot of people don't like it. And that's okay. People are getting a lot more choosy because there's a lot of stuff to watch now. A lot. So many things to watch. So people got to be a little more choosy with their time and their money. Because honestly, going to the movies, that's a big time commitment and financial commitment for a lot of people. If you're going to take multiple people. Take a family of 5 to the movie theater. It's not cheap. That's just reality. And even time commitment, even sitting down, watch something for Netflix that you already paid for, sometimes people can be like, I don't really want to spend an hour and a half on a movie I'm probably not going to like that everybody says sucks. So yeah, sadly, I think word of mouth is the only thing that's really going to get people in the theaters to make that money. And I think streaming, I think a lot more people will give it way more of a chance on streaming. I feel like it'll be, the financial commitment and, and sometimes the time commitment, you're just looking for something to throw on and watch. That could work in its positivity. I feel like it's gonna be like a good, sit down, turn your brain off, like a John Wick type movie to just sit down and watch. And hopefully it is that. Hopefully it's that. Hopefully it's not like, I don't know. I mean, it almost reminds me of in a way, if Sony does with the Spider-Verse stuff. In a way, it's got that vibe to it. So I can see that, and that's not a good thing. I feel like there's something there, something that other than the look, there's something about it I can't put my finger on that feels like a flop.